And welcome back, this is Scuba with more Let's Play The Legend of Zelda. I am joined, as always, by Blue Link. When we last left off, we did quite a bit of grinding out on the world map, preparing ourselves for the first dungeon. I got the white sword, I got the magic shield, I got the blue ring, I got 6 heart containers total. Even got bombs. I might have a little bit of a different rupee count this time, maybe a little bit of a different bomb count as well. I did have to redo all of that, but that is done. I went ahead, saved the old-fashioned way, and restarted the console, which is why I now have only 3 hearts. This is how you start the game. They spawn you here with 3 hearts filled, and it's your responsibility to fill up the rest. So let's go try to do that. I so want my sword beam. Hey, look at that. Just that quick, we are back up and ready to go. And I'm up to 11 rupees. Not bad. Not necessarily gonna buy anything with it, but we are off for the first dungeon, so no need to really hoard rupees immediately. We will need rupees, so we're going to try to get more as we continue, but there's no immediate need for rupees. So we went 1 screen over to the right, and then we're going to go a few screens up until there is water. And then we know we're on the right path to the first dungeon. Can I kill the Zora? Yeah, there we go. Didn't drop anything. Oh well. So, the blue ring, I don't think I officially said what it does. I blocked the Zora shot with the magic shield there. And then I got hit, and it did not do any damage thanks to the blue ring. The blue ring makes it so you only take half damage that you normally would. But sometimes they round that down, especially on the first hit. And then you'll actually take no damage, which is a huge bonus for me because I love that sword beam. So across this bridge here, we can find a very ominous tree, and that is going to lead us to our first dungeon, the first dungeon of the game. And the music has to change for it. There's definitely a few things that are different in a dungeon. Number 1, the music. Number 2, how quickly the scroll between the screens goes. It's definitely slower. It's more ominous that way. I do like it. And we have new enemies here. We have skeletons, but in Zelda, that means they are stalfos. But if I call them skeletons from time to time, you might have to forgive me. Notice that we did get a key off of one of them. You could kind of see it on his sprite, and then we killed him, and then we picked it up. That can be used on the locked door here. You can see it is locked, and there's a giant keyhole in the middle, but we will deal with that in a bit. Because first we want to head over here, where we can find bats, but in this game, those are called keys, I believe. Maybe keeses? Probably just keys. Either way, they are dead. And when you kill them all, a key spawns, so we're gonna take one of our keys, put it in there, and they're the normal video game keys that make absolutely no sense when you start thinking about it. They're magic keys, we'll put it that way. They work on any door, but they only work once, ever, which is the exact opposite of a normal key, which works on one door, but all the time. More Stalfos! Part of me calls them, I'll take that. Part of me calls them Zelda keys because this was the first game that I knew that used it. Hey, what do you know? We'll take another key. And we'll head over to the right. And over here, we can find a whole bunch of keys. 4 pieces. I don't know what the plural of keys is. Either way, the bad enemies need to go. And over here, we can find something kind of big and round, and it's got a couple arrows on it. It's our compass. We did get the first compass, and now they are showing us where the boss is. That flashing red thing up there is the boss. Notice that the screen kind of went black up on the top left. That's because we are now in a dungeon, and, well, we need a map in order to fill that in. So let's see if we can't find one of those maps. First, we got more of these enemies to take out. One more. Go. And use the key up here. There are kind of puzzle rooms, dungeon rooms in this one. This was one, not necessarily a puzzle, but you had to kill all the enemies in order to back out. So this door closed until you killed all the enemies. You could bypass them with the key, I believe, but you might want to get in the habit of killing all the enemies when you can. I believe these are called gels. Don't go with the gels. They're no slimes. All right, we'll head over to the right for the time being, because over here we can find we can find a nice big shiny piece of paper. So let's head over here and grab it, and that turns out to be the map. So now they have filled in the dungeon map for us. Actually, we should head over to the left, shouldn't we? I only have the one key, but that's fine. Which way do I have to push it? Is it to the right? It is. This is a puzzle room, and our first one. It's kind of a simple one. You push the block over to the right, and then that's it. Eastmost Peninsula is the secret. Indeed, it is. Oh, no. They're after me. Oh, shit. They're really after me. I need to leave. Do not try to kill the old man. Don't try to kill him at all. Bad things start happening. Hold on. Should be ready to go, although I should point out that I was a little mistaken when I said that the flashing red light was the boss room. That is not what it is. It's actually the treasure room, but there's a boss along the way. So, not exactly accurate, but you probably get the point. Either way, we are going to be heading through this right door first, even though we know that is the way to the end of the dungeon. For the time being, we're going to take out these guys and let them fire their boomerangs, which is what I wanted to show off. Now we can go ahead and kill them. It does take 2 shots even with the white sword. And here we can pick up a boomerang because we did kill them all. Alright, so let's show off the boomerang a little bit. It's actually pretty damn nice. Probably my favorite thing about it, I can fire it in all 8 directions. And if you notice, when I walked away, it follows me and comes right back. I'm a fan of that. Alright, so let's head back now that I do have the boomerang. I do love the boomerang, because we can now head over here. And by hitting enemies with the boomerang, now that I have that, I don't need to do the boomerang anymore. By hitting enemies with the boomerang, you stun them. You don't do damage to most enemies, I should say, but there are some enemies that will have damage done to them, but most of them, you're really just going to be stunning them, which is very useful in a lot of situations, so good thing to have. See, look, now he's stunned, and now I can just finish him off. Get a heart and a key. Now we can head over to the left. And in here, we can find these things. Never been that much of a fan of these things. I usually trigger them, wait for them to start going back, and then head forward. I have seen them before, but pushing this block up will allow you access to the stairs down here, where we can actually destroy enemies with boomerang. The keys can be destroyed with those. And over here, we can get ourselves the bow, one of the treasures, I guess you could say, of the dungeon. And we are almost, wow, we have a lot of these already. Unfortunately, they're not letting me select the bow right now. Maybe we need something else to use with the bow. Maybe that's just me talking out my ass. Alright, trigger those, head forward, wait for that to go all the way, trigger those, and I missed the door. It's just that simple sometimes, and now I'm going to be upset because I don't have full health, but I believe there is a place where I can farm a little bit until something drops a heart, and that'll be, ooh, shells. Go ahead and die so that I can pick up a heart, please. Or you can drop nothing. The gel drops things? I think they do. Either way, we'll move forward, and this is actually the room over here where I believe I can farm a little bit, because we have wall masters. Now, you do not want to be picked up by these hands coming out of the wall. They'll take you back to the beginning of the dungeon. And now I have all the hearts that I need, so we're just going to move forward with our key, and we are ready to take on the first boss of the game, Aqua Mentis. Hit him in the head. 3 shots with the white sword will do it. That means 5 to 7, I believe, with the wooden sword. And now that the first boss is done, we get ourselves a heart container. No real fanfare for picking that one up, though. And then we will head forward, where we can find our real prize. We get ourselves a piece of the Triforce. You can see we're starting to fill it in a little bit. It's a triangle made of triangles. Made of triangles, actually, when you start to think about it. But we have one of the pieces, and that's good for a little bit. Now, there was something that I could have done before the first dungeon as well, but I figured I had done more than enough. I made that dungeon look pretty easy thanks to the white sword and all the stuff that I have. But there is something that I could have done to help out a little bit more should things have gone poorly for me. Didn't actually mean to get hit there, but it'll help prove my point, I guess. Well, actually no, because I still have full hearts even though I got hit. I do need to grind a little bit more. I thought I would have enough money by the end of that dungeon, but it turns out I'm a little short. Maybe if I head out and just head for the place. Really? Went ahead and had to swing, didn't I? Yeah, we'll get enough money by the time we get there. I do believe. Now the question is, will I have hearts enough by the end of it? That's the real question. There we go. Oh, got hit, but didn't matter. Thank you, blue ring. I'll take that. We only need one more rupee, so by the time I get there, I should have gotten it.